Hello and welcome to India Business Hour. I'm Parikshit Luthra. Here are the headlines we are tracking this evening. A London-bound Air India flight crashes into a medical college hostel outside the Ahmedabad airport 59 seconds after taking off. Regulator says the pilot made a mayday call but did not respond thereafter to the calls made by air traffic control. 53 British nationals, 7 Portuguese and 1 Canadian national among the 242 people on board the ill-fated flight. Former Gujarat Chief Minister Vijay Rupani's name also in the passenger list. Civil Aviation Minister Ram Mohan promises a fair and thorough investigation. Vishwas Ramesh, a British national with roots in Gujarat, has reportedly survived the plane crash. He tells Hindustan Times that seconds after takeoff, there was a loud noise and then the plane crashed. Air India Chairman N. Chandra calls the plane crash a devastating tragedy and the worst day of his professional career. Tells CNBC TV18 a team from Boeing is on its way to India to help in the probe. Announces 1 crore each to the family of the victims. Boeing stock plunges after Air Dreamliner 787 crashes in Ahmedabad. This is the first major incident involving a Dreamliner. America's Transportation Security Board will lead a team of investigators traveling to India to help in probing the crash. Deep cuts on Dalal Street. Nifty snaps a 6-day winning streak due to weak global cues. Mid-cap see sharper cuts. Inflation slows to 2.8%, the lowest in more than 6 years. Food prices accelerate less than 1%. Prices of cereals and pulses fall the most. US hints at extending the deadline to impose higher tariffs from the 9th of July on countries including India. White House signals potential relaxation for those negotiating in good faith. China imposes a 6-month limit on rare earth export licenses for US companies. According to the Wall Street Journal, this comes after President Trump said China will supply rare earths upfront after talks in London. US pulls some personnel from the Middle East amid rising tensions with Iran. Reports cite US intelligence to claim Israel is preparing for strikes against Iran's nuclear facilities. A cargo ship carrying hazardous chemicals and flammable material is still on fire for the 4th day near the Kerala coast. Coast Guard airdrops dry chemicals to douse the fire and says the blaze has been significantly reduced. In what is India's worst air tragedy in recent years, an Air India plane carrying 242 people crashed near the city's airport minutes after its takeoff. The Boeing 787 Dreamliner was en route to London, had 2 pilots and 10 cabin crew on board. The aircraft had departed from the airport at 1:39 p.m. this afternoon and was headed to London's Gatwick Airport when it crashed into a medical college hostel. 169 Indian nationals, 53 British nationals, 1 Canadian and 7 Portuguese nationals were on board. Aviation regulator DGCA said that the pilot gave a mayday call, but no response was given by the aircraft thereafter to the calls made by the ATC. A mayday call is a distress call used to signal a life-threatening emergency. Prime Minister Modi called the incident heartbreaking beyond words. UK Prime Minister Keir Starmer called the mishap devastating. Vishwas Ramesh, a British national with roots in Gujarat, has reportedly survived the plane crash. He tells Hindustan Times that seconds after takeoff, there was a loud noise and then the plane crashed. Civil Aviation Minister Ram Mohan has promised a fair and thorough investigation.
We are going to do a fair and thorough investigation. We are not going to spare anyone. We are not going to leave any stone unturned. We will do properly according to the protocol, and we are going to go to the depth of why this incident has happened. That much I can tell you now.
I would like to express our deep sorrow about this event. This is a difficult day for all of us at Air India. I know that there are many questions, and at this stage, I will not be able to answer all of them. But I do want to share the information we have at this time. Air India flight AI 171 operated with a Boeing 787-8 aircraft traveling from Ahmedabad to London Gatwick has been involved in an accident after takeoff. Flight AI 171 was carrying 230 passengers and 12 crew members on board. A special team of caregivers from Air India is on their way to Ahmedabad to provide additional support. Investigations will take time, but anything we can do now, we are doing.
अहमदाबाद में जो प्लेन दुर्घटना हुई है वो अहमदाबाद के मेघानीनगर विस्तार में हुई है। आप सीधा देख रहे हैं कि ये टॉप एंगल से आप सीधा देख रहे हैं कि यहाँ करीबन 30 मीटर के अंतर पर ये घटना है वो पूरी आपको दिखाई दे रही है। हालांकि यहाँ से प्लेन है वो टेक ऑफ कर रहा था और वहाँ ही ये दुर्घटना हुई है। हालांकि वहाँ हॉस्टल का जो विस्तार है और स्थानिक लोगों ने जैसे भी देखा अभी भी आग जलती आपको दिखाई दे रही है। करीबन दोपहर को ये वारदात हुई थी जहां से प्लेन टेक ऑफ करने के समय पे जो क्रैश हुआ था। करीबन उसमें से 200 से भी ज़्यादा मुसाफिर है वो सवार थे, अहमदाबाद से लंदन की ओर जा रहे थे और वहीं पर यह घटना हुई है। हालांकि देखा जा रहा है कि फायर की टीम है वो जहमत उठा रही है, आपको कंट्रोल करने की जहमत उठा रही है। हालांकि इस बगल में ही सिविल अस्पताल आया हुआ है और सिविल अस्पताल में सभी लोग को वहाँ ले जाया गया है, उनको वहाँ सारवार के लिए ले जाया गया। स्थानिक लोगों ने जिस तरह से ये पूरी वारदात देखी थी मेरे पास जुड़ चुके हैं, उनसे बात करेंगे। आप कहाँ थे, कहाँ देखा था और कैसा ब्लास्ट हुआ था?
जी हाँ, एक्चुअली हम यहाँ पे आश्रम 1 में ही रहते हैं, जो एक्चुअली वो फेस उसका सामने ही आता है। तो पहले तो ब्लास्ट हुआ और बहुत बड़ा वाइब्रेशन आया, बिल्डिंग पूरी हिल गई थी। तो मेरे बच्चे वहाँ पे खेल रहे थे तो मेरे को लगा पहले भूकंप है, तो हमने बच्चों को पहले साइड में कर हमने ऐसा सुना कि भाई चलो भूकंप आया है, लेकिन नीचे जाने लगे ना तब पूरा दूसरी बार ब्लास्ट हुआ और बहुत बड़ा अग्नि का गोला हमको दिखाई दिया। तब कुछ पता था कुछ विस्फोट हुआ है। फिर नीचे गए तब पता चला कि प्लेन क्रैश हुआ। यहाँ से बहुत ज़्यादा भी नहीं, 100-150 मीटर ही है, वहाँ पे प्लेन क्रैश हुआ था और बहुत सारा सब धुआं हो गया था पूरा आसमान।
And Air India chairman N. Chandra has called the plane crash a devastating tragedy and the worst day of his professional career. Speaking to Shireen Ban, he said he has spoken to Boeing CEO and asked them to send in their best experts. He also announced that the company will provide 1 crore to each family of those who lost lives.
Shireen, it is a totally devastating tragedy, and we are all totally shocked and deeply affected, and our immediate focus is to help the people, the families of people who have experienced this tragedy. We are working through that at this point in time. We are trying to set up all the support systems, the emergency helpline number, and on-the-ground support. A lot of people from Air India have flown from Delhi to be here on the ground. So we're creating all those infrastructure. While we are trying to do all of this, we are also working with the authorities to see the investigation and the root cause, etc. I have spoken to the CEO of Boeing, and I've also asked him to send the best expert to work with us in this whole process, and they're very supportive. And we have a lot of questions, but we need to wait because we need to have authentic information. So as we get these informations, we will immediately share without any delay. And to help the families, we just announced that we will provide 1 crore for each family of the person who lost their life. And also we will be providing all the medical related expenses for all the people who are injured. And we will also try to help to rebuild that infrastructure in the hostel where the crash actually happened. As you talk to me, we are moving in multiple directions. This is totally a devastating experience, and I have no words to say anything.
I appreciate you joining us today, sir. I know that this is a very difficult period. And I just wanted to understand from you, there is a lot of speculation, and I would like to hear it from you. Do we have an update on whether there are any survivors? There are some indications, some comments coming in that there are some survivors. If you can share with us the information that you have, Mr. Chandrasekharan.
So I don't have the exact number, and see on the I'm also hearing from you. I also have the information that maybe there is a survivor, but we still don't have confirmation. I'm waiting for authentic information. I'm talking to the government. As you know, the government is on top of it here, and I'm in constant touch with them. And they are in touch with the hospital authorities. And so we just want to make sure that we don't give any wrong information. So a single source of information is the best in these circumstances, because any misleading information or speculation is going to be going to complicate matters.
Yes, I would imagine. So you're saying that you have no verified information on one survivor, because those are the statements that have been, coming in so far. So you're saying that you have not been given any confirmation on the sole survivor?
I still need to get a positive confirmation, but I've heard that, and I'm checking with the government, and they will tell me. Okay.
Right. Mr. Chandrasekharan, you said that you've spoken with the CEO of Boeing. This is, of course, the first time that we've seen a Dreamliner being involved in an accident. There have been incidents with the 737 MAX previously. Any indication on whether the team will be coming in, to India soon, whether the FAA and the NTSB will also be involved with the investigation?
So I think all this is being worked out. The team is, I think, on the way already. And see, we don't want to jump to conclusions. What is the cost? Because in all these things, we should not unnecessarily speculate. So I would basically wait till this investigation is done. As you know, these things take time because they have to see the recorder and everything else. So. But they are very supportive, and their experts are flying on as we speak.
Experts from Boeing are flying in as we speak. Is that also the case as far as GE Aerospace is concerned, sir? Is a team from GE Aerospace also?
Our team is in touch with both GE and with Boeing. I can't give you specifically what is the name of the person when they are arriving, but they are all fully on it, and we're getting the best help.
And again, for the benefit of everyone who's watching, sir, what have you been able to ascertain in terms of, what transpired between those moments where the Mayday was called and then, of course, all contact was lost? Has there been any information provided by the regulator to you in terms of, the pilot?
I don't have any information that I can share with you. Okay.
Right. Thank you very much. Appreciate you joining us. Thank you for your time. And, our prayers and thoughts go out to the families of all those who've suffered such a tragic loss in this horrific incident.
Yeah, it is the worst day of my professional career. I can tell you that.
I understand, sir, and this is just absolutely an awful situation for anybody to go through, and we wish you and of course everyone on site the very best as we try and come to terms with this terrible loss. Anything else that you would like to share, Mr. Chandrasekharan, as a message to people before we let you go?
Nothing more than what I've already shared, and we will keep the information going as and when we get more confirmed news. Thank you.
And shares of Boeing took a beating after the Air India plane crash. In a statement, the company has said, and I quote, "We are in contact with Air India regarding Flight 171 and stand ready to support them. Our thoughts are with the passengers, crew, first responders and all affected," end of quote. GE Aerospace, a manufacturer of engines for the Boeing planes, has also spoken, and they have said that the company has activated an emergency response and prepared to support the customers and the investigation. Meanwhile, the US Federal Aviation Administration has said it is in contact with the National Transportation Safety Board and stands ready to launch a team to investigate the crash. CNBC's Phil Lebu has more from Paris.
And there are more questions than answers. The weather was clear by all indications based on the video that we've seen. So it really does come down to a couple of things. Was it a mechanical issue with the plane? Was it a mechanical or software issue with the plane and or the engines? Was it pilot error? Those are all things that investigators will be focused on. The Dreamliner, as well as the engines that powered this aircraft, they both have stellar track records. Yes, there were problems with the Dreamliner early on when it was first being developed and it was first entering into service. After that, it's had a very good track record. There have been occasional incidents where people have seen problems when it's lost altitude, and it has brought questions up about the reliability of the manufacturing. But none of that has ever been borne out with proof that there's a problem with the Dreamliner. As for the engines, which are made by GE Aerospace, they have a great track record. The GE NX-1B engine it was essentially designed for the Dreamliner. It has a strong track record. So with that in mind, investigators will get the cockpit data recorder, the voice recorder. Those will give the biggest pieces of information that will immediately be able to say to investigators, okay, we think this is one of the primary causes for the accident. In the meantime, for investors, you know that when there is an accident, shares of the aircraft maker or the engine maker, they always sell off. Adding to that this time is the fact that both GE and Boeing have seen their shares really increase over the last year. And there's already been talk about perhaps a bit of a pullback is due for those stocks. So that may be contributing to a bit of the sell-off today. Again, guys, we should get more answers in the weeks to come. I don't expect them to get the cockpit data recorder and voice recorder within the next 24 hours. And even if they do, it's going to take some time to analyze it. It's going to be some time before we get some indication of what happened with this plane crashing shortly after takeoff.
And time for a short break, but coming up, inflation slows to 2.8%, the lowest in more than 6 years. Details when we return. On to the day's market action. Deep cuts on the market. Nifty has snapped its 6-day winning streak. Major fall in broader markets as well, with mid-cap index falling nearly 2%. BSE listed companies also lost market cap worth nearly 6 lakh crore rupees today. Moving on, inflation has slowed to 2.8%. This is the lowest India's headline retail inflation rate, and this has been in more than 6 years. Food prices have accelerated less than 1%, while prices of cereals and pulses fall the most. Lata Venkatesh has more. Lata.
Yes, that's right. This is a historic low. The inflation number for May has come in at 2.82, which is marginally lower than the CNBC TV 18 poll of 2.95. And of course, it's a much higher base of 4.8. That also helped. Largely, the inflation number has come down because of food prices. Food inflation has fallen to another historic low of 0.99%. And that is about the lowest since October 2021. So that's a 4-year low. And the prices have been dragged down largely by cereals and pulses and fruit. Vegetable prices have actually fallen a lot year on year. But okay, month on month, seasonally, they tend to rise in May over April. But it's also a very, very marginal contribution to inflation. So overall, the food inflation picture is very positive. Core inflation is higher. That is the non-food, non-fuel inflation, coming in at 4.2% compared to 4.1% last month. That is April. But even that is because of a very low base of 3.1% year ago in the month of May 2024. This is largely because of higher gold prices, which gets counted as personal services in the Indian inflation basket. But is this 2.82% a surprise for the bond markets, and will it engender a change in policy? No. This was widely anticipated. In fact, the Reserve Bank's forecast for April, May, June average is 2.9%. So this is largely on expected lines.
Thank you, Lata Venkatesh, for joining us. US President Donald Trump has said that he is open to extending The 8th July deadline to reach a deal with trading partners. Speaking at the Kennedy Center, Trump said that U.S. made a great deal with China. The administration is very happy about it. He added that the U.S. has more than 150 nations to deal with. He also added that the administration will be sending out letters in 2 weeks to countries to keep them informed about the deal. Meanwhile, U.S. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent reiterated Trump's statement, adding that these trade deals will be made as long as these countries show good faith.
We made a great deal with China. We're very happy with it. We have everything we need, and we're going to do very well with it, and hopefully they are too. But we're dealing with Japan, we're dealing with South Korea, we're dealing with a lot of them. We're dealing with about 15 countries, but as you know, we have about 150 plus, and you can't do that. So we're going to be sending letters out in about a week and a half, 2 weeks, to countries, telling them what the deal is, like I did with EU.
As I have repeatedly said, that there are 18 important trading partners. We are working toward deals on those, and it is highly likely that those countries that are trading blocs, as in the case of the EU, who are negotiating in good faith, we will roll the date forward to continue good faith negotiations. If someone is not negotiating, then we will not.
And China has agreed to restore licenses for the export of rare earth minerals to American automakers for 6 months. According to a Wall Street Journal report, U.S. negotiations agreed to relax some recent restrictions on the sale of some products to China, like jet engines. In exchange for this, these were two of the key breakthroughs in the latest round of trade talks between the two nations. In London, this comes after President Trump said China will supply rare earths up front. And speaking of China's export curbs on rare earth magnets, auto major Hyundai is likely to tap into parent entity Hyundai Motors company global supply chain to meet its demand. Sources have said that while the company is closely monitoring the situation, it does not expect any immediate production cuts in the near term. Hyundai India also does not expect disruptions in EV manufacturing due to adequate inventory for this year. And staying with rare earth magnets, Maruti Suzuki has said that there is no disruption in production of e-Vitara due to curbs. Speaking to CNBC TV18, the company's senior executive of corporate affairs, Rahul Bharti, said that there will be no change in the launch timelines of the car. However, there will be minor adjustments in production.
As of now, there is no disruption in our operation due to this issue. There is, of course, a lot of uncertainty, and the situation is evolving continuously. So we are monitoring the situation, and we are pursuing multiple solutions to ensure continuity in our operations.
The Indian government has said that they remain in touch with China in Beijing as well as in Delhi to bring predictability in supply chain for trade consistent with international practices. With that, it's a wrap on this edition of India Business Hour. Thank you for watching. News continues right here on CNBC TV 18.